I just know that they said they couldn't hear. Hello, I am standing in one of the newest developments here in West Savannah, which is our Stratford Street Passive Court. This was in our West Savannah revitalization plan, um, which should have included the passive green space with benches, the paved walkway, which I'm standing on right now, a gathering space, planting beds, ornamental fencing, as you can see, and the cat bus pullover shelter. So they actually made a little dip in the road for that. But although we're in the latest development, I want to talk about one of the first developments that was supposed to um, spur some kind of economic development. In 1997, the Georgia General Assembly enacted the Enterprise Zone Employment Act, recognizing the need for revitalization in many areas of Georgia. The state enterprise zone program intent was to promote reinvestment along distressed business corridors for business investments that are located within the enterprise zone and meet one of the following requirements. So there was two requirements: job creation incentive and a land improvement incentive. So you had to do one of the two. In job creation, it had to be maintained for 5 new full-time employees over the course of the 10-year abatement period, or you either have to invest in new residential construction or rehabilitation, other rehabilitation of an existing structure, such as the value of improvement exceeds the value of the land by a ratio of 5 to 1, according to Chatham County Assessment Valuation. Okay, so why am I mentioning enterprise zones? Well, let's talk about the first enterprise zone in Savannah, which happened in 2007. So, first of all, the county implemented their enterprise zone, which runs along the north side of President Street extension from General McIntosh Boulevard to Wilmington Island. So that was the first in the county. Then, right behind that, Savannah implemented an enterprise zone 2, which we know as the Sustainable Fairwoods. So the Sustainable Fairwoods is also the first. So as it being the first enterprise zone, um, it's supposed to support the development and further spur the redevelopment of West Savannah by providing tax and other incentives to qualified businesses and residential construction. So at one point, the Fairwoods, Sustainable Fairwoods, was a enterprise zone. So a lot of tax incentives and everything went into that development. The first phase was called for 110 public affordable units, infrastructure providing recreation and green spaces, and 5 single-family homes. The second phase was to include additional units, single-family homes, senior housing, retail space. It was supposed to attract business to redevelop the area in West Savannah. I think it has everything. I don't recall seeing any retail space in Sustainable Fairwood, so that might be something that we need to look at. Um, so obviously, this is the bridge report. First of all, let me thank Julius Hall for all things relevant media being able to give me this platform, and the cameraman. Um, so, I want to get right into it. All right. So I ran into a plan, and the plan was titled West Savannah Revitalization Plan 2005 and Augusta Avenue Corridor Revitalization Plan 2012. And it was an implementation update document. So that document was dated on January of 2019, so very recent. That document showed that there was a $72 million investment thus far. So this is we're looking at a period from 2010 to 2021. All right. So what this plan was talking about in this $72 million investment is the highlights of the housing that has happened here, the open space, the civic institutions, the infrastructure, the streets and circulation, the workforce and economic development. All sounds good, right? All right. So I went and I looked at these and I started to break down the numbers. So first of all, I noticed that a lot of things, from the street repairs to um, the 88 ramps and different things like that, was all kind of around the Fairwood development. So after pulling the numbers, I found that $57 million of the $72 million investment into West Savannah was all geared towards the Fairwoods. So you had $47 million in private money being allocated, and then additional 10 million of public money being allocated to things. So, for instance, the 43 million shows a straight private investment directly into the Fairwoods. Then you have Fairwood site infrastructure with another $3,658,000. Um, you have housing infill development that all went around Fairwoods with another $6 million in public investment, and 4,422,000 in private investment. So that gives us the 57 million total. Again, that's 47 in private, 10 million in public. So that would leave us, if we did the math, 72 million minus 57 million, somewhere 15 million. All right. So then I looked and I said, well, what did they do with the 15 million? Did the 15 million provide community benefits for the community? And I looked at the 15 million. So we had another 8 million in private investments, which the 8 million in private investments went to housing and home repair. So it was a direct $8 million invested directly into housing and home repairs. The other 7 million went into what you see in the Moses Jackson Community Center. That was a 1,267,961, and the Moses Jackson Advancement Center, $839,000. Augusta Avenue saw almost $1 million, 807,597, and then there is a listing of other West Savannah corridors at 2889 in public funds. So why did I say all that? All right, so I looked at the plan. I want to know the breakdown of the plan. So the plan again calls for different things. So we'll start with the categories. Housing is sustainable Fairwoods and the Cumming Street. So these are the two housing projects that has went on. Now there is $10 million being allocated for affordable housing, and what we don't have in the plan that's happening, there are new houses that has been built on Stratford Street, and I'm not sure if there's any more plans to build them, but I do know of 2 brand new houses on Stratford Street as well. So that is included in our housing uplift. Then it said open spaces. So I'm in one of the open spaces uplifts, which is this new Stratford Street Park. It's nice. It's really nice. You also have Baker Street. Remember, I'm talking about a period from 2010 to 2021. So then you also have open spaces. You have the Baker Street Park. You have the Weepington Historical Market that got put in place. They also list Foreman Wigman's Motorcycle Club site that was acquired and cleared. So it's an empty lot. And they put a little fencing around it, made it look nice right off Augusta Avenue near Newell Street. All right. Then they list of accomplishments, civic institutions. They talk about the parking lot expansion of Moses Jackson Center, the Eastern Wing Advancement Center. Now, this is all of the money that I just mentioned earlier within that $15 million that could have been a benefit for the community or should be a benefit for the community. So it looks like they did all of that. The Eastern Wing Advancement Center. Now, the Eastern Wing Advancement Center, the Advancement Center has been relocated to the east side for whatever reason. They said something about they found lead. So we've been without our Advancement Center for a little while now. Last I checked a couple of weeks ago. If it's come back, then great. But that was an investment. Let's see. Not last. So going down the list, I found, let's see. on this page. So going down the list is infrastructure. So the infrastructure that was incited, and I'm looking, was that you basically it's going to be utility pole relocation, and that would be the poles would be removed and relocated to install sidewalks, and this would be something that they would be co-working on with the utility company, co-locating lines or new trailer poles, resulting in overall reduction of the poles. So they've done a little bit, but most of the poles, I wanted to walk down Augusta Avenue, but 30-minute show, that's just not possible. I really would like for you guys to see the visual, but most of the poles are still in place. They haven't been done. And this is just me just going down the plan and just checking it off. The West Bay Street improvements, we all see that. Well, they call it the West Bay experiment at this point. Hopefully they're done. So that has happened. You have street and circulation, you have street paving, repairs and resurfacing, and this is where I got mad. So on here it said that 26 streets had been completed, and most of those streets were all around the Fairwoods. Like it was from like, and then Augusta Avenue is halfway. You got from Augusta Avenue to Coventry, and now this port kind of extended it, but they had stopped right there, and then another from East Langthorpe to Newell, they did something to the streets, but our streets are horrible. They had plans that we should have come on Jinx Street, Baker Street, Sugden, Port of McIntyre, Delian, Richard. They did do Richard, and Port of Newcastle, Stratford Street, and Comer. All right. So those were what was in the plan, but I mean, this is from 2010 to 2021. I mean, we need streets all over here. So those are not even the streets that I even really frequent. And I know of other streets that need work. So our infrastructure is horrible, and we really need some streets and repavement. All right. The next category is workforce and economic development. This is where I had trouble at. When I moved into the neighborhood in 2018, I went to try to use our Moses Jackson Center as is a community center. I was given a 4 or 5 page application to even use a computer, which I just didn't understand. If it's in a community where you have to go through all that trouble. Anyway, didn't really have all the information available that they needed. Went and talked to a neighbor, and the neighbor's like, well, that center is not for us, you know. So anyway, I want to talk about some of the programs that went through that center. I'm not sure if that's been actually an impact to our direct community, or if others, because what my neighbor told me was they bust people in. That's not for us. So hopefully these programs that were supposed to impact residents and empower residents did not go to outside people coming in to receive these services. And if they did, I guess that's good too. But our community is really in need of skills and training and things like that, that we can really participate in this economy. Because if people are moving from out of state to come here to work, then there's no problem with work if you train the people for that thing. So some of the programs you might remember, it lists the CAP program, and I believe the CAP program is a Step Up Savannah program. It also lists a Savannah Tech, manufacturing, warehousing, and CDL. Now, this went on from 2010 to 2015. It's not there anymore, and I can't see why not. When we have this booming industry, the port is growing. Why wouldn't you want more people to get CDLs and keep a program like that here? Because just a simple commercial driver's license could change a life entirely. So then it went on to new programming, culinary career development in 2015. You also had how to start a business classes, started in 2016. At some point, Savannah State was here from 2010 to 2012 with business development classes. So you had job fairs, hiring events, readiness training, resume write, job search, skill clothing, and they even gave out bus passes from 2016 to now. So that is pretty much what was listed as it relates to workforce economic development. All right. Then the last thing they talked about was, sidewalks and stuff like that. So they started, and that's at the further end of Augusta Avenue, east length off to Newell, was resurfaced, sidewalk curb installed. It's actually right there where the building is for sale right now. It's a lot of space stored at the beginning of Augusta Avenue down here that can be developed. It also lists 21 ADAs, which is like ramp, slope kind of things that you see on the different streets. Most of those went around the Fairwoods as well. Let's see. Off-street parking lot installed a new castle. We do have that. I'm not sure what it's utilized, what's being utilized for, but it is installed. Property between Newell and Scarborough is cleared. We do have a tree lawn installed. That's where, if you pass down Augusta Avenue, where you see the planted pots and all of those. We supposed to have stamped concrete crosswalks at Tulip, McIntyre, Densler, Chester, Newcastle, coming in Newell Street. I guess they come. I don't think they're all there, but I do see they did do McIntyre when they did this new port. So I guess that's coming. So lastly, what I want to talk about, why did I give this whole report on the economic development here in West Savannah? Because right now there is another development coming, a $5 million development to place what used to be affordable housing, to place it into shelter and transitional housing. So the council is up for that vote. Hopefully it goes on the agenda on the 28th, so we can finally decide what's what. We have been meeting with various residents. Signed petitions. So there is movement on this, and that the mass majority of the community does not want it. So we're still in negotiations. Hopefully there is some type of success. Now, I was given a list of alternative locations, and when I looked at those alternative locations, I'm a little trouble with those too. It just doesn't fit. I don't know why it can't be in that location, but all that to say, there is an advertised $72 million saying it has been invested in the community of West Savannah, but there is no community benefits. The Fairwoods is great. It's affordable housing, but the mass of that $72 million went there. No businesses have come about as a result of it, and that's what people are looking for. Jobs need to be created. Skills need to be given to be able to go after these livable wage jobs that's here in Savannah. There's plenty of them. Again, we have a port expanded. We have the logistic technology corridor coming for the tech world to expand. There's just a lot of great things happening in Savannah. And just looking at it, if this is my report from 2010 to 2021, that the only investments have come in is reference to this $72 million. I need to ask, where is the SPOS? Like, what happened? So all that to say, and I'm going to get back on this because I'm actually the lead organizer and trying to help pull this together as far as being able to consciously advocate for this shelter transitional housing plan to be moved somewhere else, whereas this community is already fragile and it can't take anything else because nothing has been poured into it thus far. So again, that $72 million is on one edge of the community. It didn't bring jobs. It didn't bring the retail as promised. It didn't for it to be an enterprise zone. I'm not sure what happened. I haven't done enough research to understand what else was out there that took the opportunity of that area being an enterprise zone, or was it just the Fairwoods area? All of the plans that I was trying to look for kind of been deleted. I don't know, because it's probably, over 10 years old, whatever the case may be, but I'm going to try to request it from the city. So all that, what is my time? All right, so I got about 9 minutes. Um, I really need people that love West Savannah. I understand that there is, I guess, maybe different people with different opinions and different agreements, and I'm not a messy person. I don't like mess, but what I like doing is solving problems. And so the only way that we can effectively I don't know if the camera's still on or not. The only way that we can effectively change or stand up for this community is for everyone to come together, and that's the people on the outside, the people on the inside, everyone. And everyone has to respect each other when you come into that space, because I have met so many people here, and everyone loves West Savannah. I don't know where my cameraman is trying to take me, but everyone loves West Savannah, and we have.
Hold on, Mike.
So am I still on? Okay. All right. So sorry about that. We had a little technical difficulty. Let me see. I still have plenty of time. So if you want to contact me directly, my number is 912-436-2370. You can email me. If you see me on Facebook, you can messenger me. But I'm really going to be doing some heavy work and trying to pull people together over this next few days, because that's all we have. If we want to see some West Savannah get something that it deserves versus just getting all of the pretty much leftovers, something that can impact this community and really uplift this community. We have a great older woman who is fighting for it, but I don't want to discredit the neighborhood organizations as well. I was blessed to have Tyrone Ware come to the last meeting, and he was there to listen, and that's a good thing, because again, we're not going to agree on everything, but what we can do is show some kind of compromise and willingness, because regardless of what decision is rendered after January 28th, we still have to live here together. We still have to co-occupy this space together. It's no sense in us being ugly with each other or anything like that. So all I want to say is, if you can help, if you know how to help us be able to be victorious in being able to stop this shelter transitional housing from coming here to West Savannah, then I greatly appreciate it. Again, my number is 912-436-2370. You can reach me most times anywhere from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. If you don't reach me, text me, leave a message. I will get back with you. Uh, Something you can also call out older woman Vanetta Lanier. Um, and I wish I had her phone number. I didn't bring it. But it should be listed on the city website, which is savannahga.gov. Any of the city officials, we need your help. We really need your help. There are people out here now. Everyone is not an activist. Everyone don't know how to stand up correctly like they should. So I am helping with organizing it. But there are very passionate people who care about where they live and really don't want this to come into the community at this point without any kind of community benefits. I know that I've had a couple of neighbors tell me that some of the community benefits is the alcohol and drug rehabilitation, but this neighborhood's not filled with a whole lot of alcohol and drugs. That's just, I don't know, visibly out. I don't know. That's not going to uplift. I mean, it can help. Don't get me wrong, but when economic development happened, just like $57 million went into the Fairwoods, but yet and still the community is still depressed. We gotta make sense with these developments, and this is not making sense. So now another 5 million is going to go into a Hope Center. That's still not for the community. So when will there be developments that's for the community outside of these parks? These are nice, but we need something that's going to really, truly, correctly enhance the quality of life that we know here in West Savannah. We have a great culture. It's a tight family neighborhood, but we would like to enjoy Savannah the way the rest of everyone enjoys Savannah, where we can make this Savannah one Savannah versus it being two. Because I lived on the other side for the first 2 years, and it's totally different. It's definitely two Savannahs here, and I've been hoping and wishing that when this place is redeveloped or urban renewal takes place or urban revitalization or a mix of all of them, that the people that live here that have endured the conditions of the press area will actually get a chance to stay. And that is the main fight here is we understand that when things are not placed correctly within communities, then there is a great chance of what we call gentrification, where the people who live here don't live here anymore. They're kind of wiped out, and then there's new people, higher rent, higher everything, and they're displaced. It's happening all across America and all these Black and brown communities. So I'm Natavia Sanders. I want to again thank ATR for giving me this platform. This is probably the only place you'll see me other than if you're a personal friend on my Facebook. And anyway, that's my time. You guys have a great day.